Okay, let's start by putting the pipe in. Just slide that through, very simple. Make sure these holes lined up because you're going to need to get the bolt through those. And just make sure, just put one of the weights here, make sure that isn't going to push against that bit. Make sure you've got enough room. That looks okay. So I'm just going to line that up, okay, and tighten that there. Okay. So it's very simple to put together. Great. Now we just want to try and get the bolt in there. I have to sort of screw this in a bit. Put one of the washers like that. Get the weights on there. Try and turn this to camera key so you can see it going through. Maybe not so far. This is probably the trickiest bit. I want to get all three weights on there, so. Well, that was the easy bit. Now I'm going to get another washer, stick that on there. So we've got one nut just there, and then the bolt has now been put all the way through. One washer on the outside and another nut just to tighten up and keep everything on secure. Maybe just give that a little bit of a tighten. And then finally, you just put these bits, which are the Munson rings which have been joined, on the end, and I want those to be kind of like that, to offset the midsection DSLR rig. I'm just going to tighten that. Takes a while to sort of get these lined up, but just play around with it, and you can always adjust them. They can be adjusted very easily if you get the wrong angle, so don't worry about it too much. So you just, again, line that up, try and get it the right angle and parallel to the other bar. That's the main thing. And then it will be the right width to take the copper piping of the midsection. Great. And there you have it. That is the shoulder part of the DSLR rig. Here's how to assemble the mounting section of the DSLR rig. I've got here some of these Munson rings which I've joined together in the same way I showed earlier. I've got copper piping here. I've cut that to 22 centimeters. It's about 8.5 inches, I think. So the first thing to do is just get some of these Munson rings over the copper piping. You can see that's a bit loose at the moment, so give that a quick tighten. It's very easy to assemble. The whole rig can be assembled, if you've done it before, maybe in 30 minutes. It looks a lot more complicated than it is. Now you can see that's, I mean, don't worry about that for now, because there's other pieces going to go on, and that will give it extra rigidity. So this is the mounting set. This is just the top of a quick release thing for a tripod, a quick release head for a tripod. There you go. Put it on like that. Just a screw through there, just a small screw. And then just tighten that with a nut. I should have some washers on these as well. I didn't get any washers, unfortunately. So that's how I'm mounting my camera. Okay, one thing which I forgot to mention to you earlier was that there's actually different sizes of these lower pieces to the Munson rings. This is the one I've used for almost all of the rig here. You can see that's about 1 centimetre of metal there. and this one is just a lot shorter. And I've only used these in this case to, in this particular rig, to mount the quick release plate onto the rig, which I've taken and I've just literally cobbled this together. I'm going to find a better way to mount my camera on this, but this is what I'm using for now. I'll put that over, get it to where I want it. Doesn't really matter for now. Again, I'm just tightening these. I don't know if you can see that properly. Just give it a quick tighten. Try and turn that to camera for you. And here's the front. Like so. And I'm actually using, this is probably a bit makeshift as well, but I'm using this to support the underside of this quick release plate. So that gives it a third point of strength, 1, 2, 3, which is, I mean, probably not the way I should be doing it, but it's working for now. This whole thing has been very improvised, so probably should have planned it a bit better. Okay, that's really strong now. That's the mid-section of the rig, and what's going to happen is the handlebars are going to go slot onto here with some more Munson rings, and the rear section is going to slot onto here. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the front part of the rig, the handlebars as I call it. This is the basic handle. I mean, you could make this in so many different ways. It's probably a bit more complicated than it needs to be actually. But what I've done here, because you know, this has to be firm, it can't move from side to side when it has to make a strong connection with the rig. So what I've done here is I've actually drilled 2 holes through the piping here. Don't know if you can see that, and I've screwed one of these, just a single one of these Munson rings into that, so that's very strong. And then I've got some of this foam pipe insulation, which again is very cheap. And I've just basically slotted that over there like that. It wasn't quite holding, so I put a bit of tape around this just to build up the width of the copper piping a bit, just so this stays on the handlebar. Just slot that over there, and what I'm going to do when I get the time is buy some tennis racket grip and just wrap that around there just to give a nice solid grip. But that's fine for now. These are the 2 handles. And then I've got another piece of copper piping here, just a plain piece of piping, no holes in it or anything. That is 32 centimeters long. And 2 of these Munson rings, and I don't know if you remember, I said earlier it's important that these things can twist. The top can twist independently of the bottom, and this is why, because this is going to link your mounting section of the rig with your handlebars. So I'll just show you how this is going to go, if I can work it out myself. Here we go. That's going to go like that, like so, and I'll just tighten those.